어두운 게 싫으시다면 주의를 밝혀드릴 수 있습니다. 제 불꽃은 육과에서 제일 밝은 불꽃입니다.
Greetings and salutations everyone, I'm Ekamac, this is Limbus Company once again, because I just never know when to stop. So I want to address one of the long-term grinding systems of Limbus Company. So, in previous times, we've had Luxcavations. You fight against enemies of specific weapon type weaknesses and get experience tickets. Each day you have a thread Luxcavation which you can do 3 times for maximum bonuses, and they'll be weak to a specific elemental type. But there's one more form of upgrading your characters, and that's mirror dungeons. Mirror dungeons are unlocked by reaching a certain point in the story, and then you can send your sinners into these places. The thing is, this stuff also changes all the time. So who knows, this might end up being a historical example of exactly what you did with all these Mirror of the Lake versions. So one thing is that we have a choice right here. We have normal lake or we have hard. You only need to do hard once per week for the weekly bonus, and it'll also use up any of your normal bonuses. This is why I'm not showing hard, because I always start the week with hard. But as you'd expect, it's a lot trickier. It's a lot longer, enemies start out stronger, and the thing about Mirror Dungeon Normal is that it automatically adjusts the levels of characters you send in to be level 40, the current level cap. In hard, you don't get that luxury, so whatever level your characters are in actuality is the level that they go through this in. So yeah, it's quite tricky. But completing them will level up your Limbus car. Completing it will level up your Limbus pass level, which will give you nominable Ego Shard crates. The Ego Shards have 2 uses. You can use them to directly buy identities or ego that you want. For example, if I want to get my hands on this Don Quixote wishing can, then I need 400 Don Quixote Ego Shards. Each crate is worth... Each crate is worth about 3, so it will take quite a bit of grinding to get to that. But it is a guaranteed method, a lot better than if you don't have good luck at extracts. You can also convert them directly into threads, which can then be used to upgrade things, or you have to use them in getting things from threadspin / uptie 3 to 4. And they also get kind of expensive. So yeah, mirror dungeons are the best way to improve your character's growth if you've got nothing better to do with your weekly income. Anyway, let's jump into normal to illustrate how this goes. Wait, no. Starter buffs first. After completing a run, you get a certain amount of starlight, which can be used to buy these. As you can see, I've bought a lot. All of them have a core node which you have to activate to access later parts of it. But there's also specific things which are more beneficial to certain team compositions. So we can increase things for burn, tremor, bleed, basically all 7 of the statuses, plus an all-around random one. Once you've lit up every node, however, it gives you the option to spend starlight on increasing your starting strength, extra ego gifts, or increased starting cost, or getting a random tier 4 ego gift at the start. That looks pretty strong, but it's also very expensive. We just want to go in as is because this isn't a hard run. One thing to note is that whatever gift set, now we get to pick our starting gift. Increase your starter buffs or pay the 100 starlight cost at the start and you can pick extra. As you can see, you actually get a bonus if you pick something that wasn't picked last time. So this actually encourages you to have multiple different mirror dungeon teams and rotate them out. This isn't the only reason. What I like to do is I like to go through them all in order. Because we tackled charge last time, this time we want to tackle burn. Oh, we have a good starting set. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. If all enemies or all abnormality parts of burn, inflict 2 burn potency on all. First turn start of a wave, inflict 5 burn and 3 burn count to all enemies. And now we have our teams. The way this works is that whenever an identity is used, well, basically, every time an identity isn't used in a full dungeon run, they gain 1 rest. If you go in and complete if an identity is used in a run and they aren't swapped out for any reason, then they give out bonus starlight at the end based on how much rest gauge they have. So at minimum, you want to have about 6 teams for full optimization, which is slightly unfortunate because Ryoshu still needs an extra identity. Because there are enough identities for everyone except her. Anyway, we're going for a burn team because that's the current punching bag of the game. Everyone hates burn identities. But they have good strategies here. So, this functions like a roguelite. You can look ahead to figure out where everything you want is and then move accordingly. Question marks are mirror dungeon events, which can give out an ego gift if you pass them. The single swords are basic encounters. They are unfocused, and you can tell what element that your opponents will be weak to by the symbol. So blunt, slash, pierce. Bring the type. Usually you want to stay away from the blunt nodes on floor 1 because they'll be slightly stronger than the rest, and we're starting at 0 SP with 0 resources, so we aren't in quite the position to make that work. All the way over here is the boss node. This is the end of the floor. Floor 1 will always be an unfocused encounter, and blunt weakness is a little bit scary. The thing is, we are using a burn team and they're very good at blunt, but also right over here, this is the vending machine. We want to visit this if we can. So unfortunately, we're going to have to pick a fight. As you can see, it's already auto-filled out my team for me. The strategy for burn, well, The strategy for burn is to make sure you bring the magic bullet because that's a very important burn identity. It bases it on what my standard settings are for some reason. Anyhow, pretty basic. We have Enforced to be our blunt burn damage with his great caps. We have Forced to keep him sane. Yi Sang is going to be special later on, but not now. Leo Gregor is nice, provided someone else can stick up burn count. Leo Ishmael is all around nice, and we can get some Dark Flame. You show off. He autographs it with an S. Now here's the problem with normal mode floor 1. Look at these enemy levels. Level 35 versus our fixed level 40. We are not going to get SP from killing these guys. We're only going to get it from clashes. This can be slightly problematic. because it means that we might not have a fully sane team when we get to the boss at the end. But there are worse things that could happen. And on the ups, generally what happens is the slowest sinners aren't going to be getting clashes, so they can't build up their sanity. But it's not the end of the world. Okay, I really should have opened up the guide that I usually use for these, but I know this one. The room ceiling was too high, yet it was so narrow it felt like a tight space. Something that looks like an old person sits on a chair staring into a painting on the wall. It didn't so much as flinch. A dark, thick and sticky smoke crawls out behind it. Perhaps that's what loneliness might look like if it's visualized. What's a young one doing like you doing in this room? It spoke to us, its eyes still glued to the painting. How long has it been aware? Are you interested in hearing my stories? Say that you're willing to hear the stories. My stories are so long, young ones like you might end up being as old as me while hearing one. These long, long stories, they only end in one way. I wanted to go home but couldn't make it. It says with a long sigh, like it was wishing to let go of a longing. Get this painting off the wall and take it with you. It'll be better that way. What will you do? Do not accidentally click leave the painting be. You want to take the painting. If you leave the painting, then you get a massive SP penalty. When we removed the painting from the wall, a creeping feeling weighed on our backs. We turned around to find that much more of the sticky smoke was gushing out than before. It was my only home. The way it tried its most to hold its tongue, its murmur almost felt like a wail. When we tried putting the painting back, "No, don't do that, just take it, I've made up my mind." It shouted, "Take it and leave before I take your home, now." We followed its plea and left the place in a hurry. We got the ego gift Homeward. At the start of an encounter, all participating allies heal 12% of max HP. Healing gifts are extremely powerful, because your HP is going to be sticking around otherwise. So, the eerily empty space is occupied by the hum from the dispenser. Yield that crumb you have, it'll be exchanged for something useful. So, it knows what we want, we also know what it wants. We can buy extra ego gifts here, that's nice. We can also buy skill replacements. I kind of want to get Utis up to her rank 3 because I never see Magic Bullet Utis whenever I get to this point. Curriculum Vitae gives a bonus for charge, we have no charge identities. Never get defeat enemy ego gifts unless they have something really good on top of that. So not this. Prejudice is healing if you get Pride Resonance. We don't have much pride in this group though. And healing the least healed ally isn't quite as good when we've got Homeward to do all that for us. Painkiller is good if you expect to get staggered. I don't. We can get the Pendant of Nostalgia. Combat start, an ally gains 3 poise potency. Allies with Gloom Affinity attack skills gain 3 poise and 2 poise count. And if we don't like anything we have, we hit refresh, and ooh. Tomorrow's Fortune is good, because it increases the number of options by 1 when choosing an ego gift. I would have grabbed the Endorphin Kit if I had the chance, but I don't. Might as well get the Grimy Iron Stake as well. It's not a good idea to overspend because you might want them at future rest stops, but this works. So another indistinguishable space. I know this one, I know the trick for this one. The sound of a plastic crashing is accompanied by the sloshing of a liquid. It looks like something that used to be an employee of a company. Its identity is evident by the now worn formal outfit and the employee card. The card is almost too battered and contaminated to recognize. Wearing a box filled with Enkaphalin on their head, the employee rams it into what looks like the door to a containment unit. The rubber O-ring is worn around their neck. Could it be there to prevent enkephalin from spilling? So, cut the ring. But here's the trick. We actually want to pick someone who fails this, because it's very sneaky, but failing this check is actually more positive than passing it. Was the ring sturdier than it seemed, or was it the lack of skill? The blade kept bouncing off the slippery O-ring. The submerged thing pushed you away and ran off. Did it prefer to stay like that? All it left was a small employee card. Ego gift employee card earned. So if you pass the skill check, then what happens is that
그것도 흔들릴 때가 있습니다.
yeah, Mersault didn't like failing, but you still get the ego gift whether you succeed or fail, but if you succeed, then you actually get a penalty on top of it, so that's a really weird one. Took me a while to figure that one out. So we have our boss. It is Blunt.
단피가 떨어질 때군요.
Unfortunately, because we didn't do many fights, we don't have much SP or resources. Oh, and it is N-Corp, as I was worried. So then... He's going to hit Ishmael for 30 damage. I think we might actually want to use Fluid Sac right now, just so we can get SP up on everyone, because I don't like how little fighting we did in order to visit the vendor. Oh, I forgot completely that Dark Flame will miss if the SP is too low. It went indiscriminate and hit Forced instead. Never mind, it's a very good thing that we decided to use Fluid Sac there. We need to knock someone out so we get our action economy back. Oh, actually, what we could do is... That's actually significantly not helpful. But it does remove his pride weakness, so he's not going to be taking 43 damage.
이것이 궁극의 일발장전.
That's the stagger, so he doesn't get to move a second time.
불길 속으로.
And this is the cleanup.
침묵했어. 다 죽어라. 그 오늘을 다 죽어라.
And so, we've cleared the first floor. We have 3 more to go. Now, usually we get 3 options here. Because we picked up the Tomorrow's Fortune, we get a 4th option. This is how strong... This is going to upgrade our enemies. We get to pick whatever mounting trial we want, and we get an ego gift to go along with it. So out of everything, it's generally a lot better to pick based on what mounting trial you want to see the least, what you'd rather deal with the most, as opposed to a gift that you'd rather have. But that said, you can actually get some interesting gifts. If a gift is really going to pull your set together, then you might have to bite the bullet. Incidentally, I find it hilarious that they're offering 4-leaf clover and ornamental horseshoe, because those make something interesting for a poise team. Anyway, I'm picking the status effects because I'd rather deal with that than a raw 15% damage increase. So floor 2 mixes things up a bit. We now have access to risky encounters, which are kind of like the normal unfocused encounters, but they're a bit harder. The enemies will be high level, but in exchange we get more rewards for beating them. Over here, these are focused encounters. They will pick at us against a bunch of mook abnormalities. They have slightly lower rewards than the risky encounters, but they still have a chance of giving us an ego gift on victory. The thing is, over here, this is a rest stop. We want to get to here ASAP. We're going to have to give up on our chances of getting more ego gifts in exchange for this. So yeah, this is basically how it's going to be going for the near future, so I'm just going to skim ahead until we get to the rest stop. Actually, we're cutting back in now because I forgot one of the main steps about burn teams. I'm basically following a guide that was posted on Steam/Reddit for how to make use of this burn team to get through it quickly. The trick is, you bring Forced in at the start to help stabilize everyone's sanity. Once only Sinclair is left, you pull Forced back and you pull in Mersault. We want Yi Seng, also an important point, we want Yi Seng to be in second place. That's extremely important.
이 불꽃이 필요하시다면
Because in the back row we require less Lust Resonance to get the SP restore, and we only really need it on Sinclair anyway. Anyway, back to work. Dense quietness. You may bury your pain in the quiet or bring out someone to share the pain with. Feel free to take a rest here. If you'd like a chance meeting, please place that on the desk. Convenience store owner exploring the maze for a dispenser. So, we do have a few similar options to what we had before. We can heal, we can swap out team members. But here's the things that only a rest stop can do. We can choose to spend cost to upgrade our gifts. So, not everything can be upgraded, but things that can be upgraded quite efficiently. So, at the moment, random ally gains 3 poise. We can upgrade that to 4 poise, and 4 poise and 3 count, so that's nice. This is a burn team, so you'd think that I really want to throw things into the burn. But there's something else we could do. if you go to Fuse Gifts, we can choose to combine gifts that we don't like to get something different. And as you can see, we're not getting anything useful out of mixing those three together. However, if you mix two of the same elemental type, then it gives you a specific ego gift. Because we're mixing two wrath gifts, it's giving us a burn gift. Keep this in mind when you're thinking about what you want to hang on to. Now keep in mind this isn't a guaranteed wrath gift. Sometimes they just give you whatever you want, but it is better odds. So if we fuse these two, it gave us a rupture gift. It's certainly going better than the time it kept giving me White Gossapium. However, there are certain gifts. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. This doesn't look like it's giving us anything special. Soothe the Dead. At the start of the encounter, this gift activates when 5 or more identities have attack skills that apply burn. Not counting ego skills. First turn, start of a wave. Inflict 3 burn count to all enemies and 15 burn potency between them all. Any skills that inflict burn potency, count, or unique burn. Final power +1, coin power +1, inflict extra burn potency and burn count. This is a tier 4 gift. We're going to have fun. Oh hey, it's this guy. You hear the quiet flickering of candles. In this cramped room you find a wooden doll standing. Are the talismans filling the room for a wish? Does this wooden doll wish for anything? I think we have to remove the doll's talismans. I think we get what this is either way, but one way will give us a fight and one way won't. After you remove them, the doll knelt. Is it begging you not to take it, or is it a gesture of gratitude? You won't know for now. We got Talisman Bundle. When an ally deals 12 HP damage to an enemy with a skill, inflict 2 rupture potency. If it's slash, inflict 4 rupture instead. So this is actually going to be a focused encounter boss. It gives us a hint of what to expect by the damage type that it's weak to. But it's hard to memorize what's weak to what.
몸이 따라줄지 모르겠지만 가라면 가야지.
Oh boy, it's these guys. So the rule with the Inquisitors is quite simple. When hit by an attack, gain instincts. Enter Frenzy if at 4 instincts. In Frenzy, gain 3 attack power up and 3 fragile. Change behavior, do not gain instincts. By change behavior, it means that it will go from having 1 attack and several evades to focusing all of its attacks on the person with the least HP. We also have the boss version here, 4-legged beast. I found out the other day that Shimmering Rage, at 50% HP or less, enter Frenzy every turn. Try to save him for last. Basically the rule here is try to space out your attacks so that they don't all enrage on the same turn.
탐구는 끝났어.
Anyway, there's something special that we want to keep 7-Yi Sang around for, but unfortunately he's not quite able to fill it in quite yet because we don't have the ego resources to spam the attack that we really want to spam. Also, we need to keep our eye out for some good ego gift for burn because I mean, Soothe the Dead is pretty good. I'm not saying that it isn't. I'm just saying that there's one that goes really nicely with what he can have. So as you can see, both attacks are being hit on Gregor friend here, so we don't want that to happen.
탐구는 끝났어.
People don't particularly care for burn teams in the game because even when you do have really good burn count and burn potency, it caps at 99. And if you're going that far in on status effects, the others are just so much better for when you stack to heaven and back. That said, if you do have Magic Bullet Utis, she can make burn work quite well.
순식간에 끝내줘. 일발장전.
Ooh, yeah, he's going to be angry about that one.
불길 속으로.
고통은 없어.
And you are out of here, sir. Anyhow, we have a new set of 4. All of these are basically the same thing. It increases the resistance to all elements except for one of our choice. Dreaming Electric Sheep is slightly above the usual defeat enemies one because also if you activate Envy Resonance, it gives out offense and defense boosts. Grey Coat gives us damage boost when hitting with extra weight, and it heals us for hitting with extra weight or a Gloom skill. Eclipse of Scarlet Moths is strong. When dealing damage with an attack skill, deal half its damage as fixed damage to a random enemy. If the attack skills is Lust, deal to 2 random enemies instead. So yeah, that is good. But I want Coffee and Cranes. Gain 1 ego resource of a random affinity that was not used as an attack skill last turn. If one of the attack skills used last turn was Lust, gain 1 of every affinity. This is good for filling in affinities that you need to use but don't have. And this team composition definitely has that problem. So, floor 3. We usually don't get rest stops right next to vendors. But yeah, risky encounter, let's show it, but then after that we'll skim until we get to the vendor and such so I can strategize. Oh boy, it's Pecod Town. So, 4th match Flame. If we had the right ego gift, this would be extremely powerful. As it is, it's just powerful. So we're going to hit everyone with resisted but burn inflicting attacks. Although, I'm actually a little worried about Sinclair over there, because if he goes crazy, then he could actually mess us up quite a lot.
불길 속으로.
Oh man, it wasn't heads.
것을 태울 뿐이요.
It's a fun way to stick up a burn on everyone before the rest of the Liu units get to act, because they tend to get coin power from enemies being burned. But also fun is that because we have Soothe the Dead, we're also getting bonuses for all of their burn attacks anyway.
좋아.
Hiseng is actually kind of in trouble there, because the cap of this attack is the floor. See, that's a negative coin skill. If it rolls 15 at max, then it means that by the end of the attack, it's going to be rolling 13 minimum. I don't particularly want to deal with that, so pros eye view. Yeah, Picard Town, don't mess around.
완벽한 한 발을 위해.
In Mirror Dungeon's hard, these guys are complete monsters to face, especially if you pick the wrong enemy trials to go with them. In fact, people often recommend that you stay the hell away from all risky encounters for the mere threat of running into these guys at max power. I should also point that each floor that we go up raises the level of enemies that we face, and eventually they're going to just be much higher level than us, so we need to have our ego gifts put together properly.
불길 속으로. 숨막혔어.
자연스러운 것입니다.
Oh, and risky nodes do have much higher levels than normal. You can go from level 50 to level 60 in Mirror Dungeon Hard. Anyway, Nixie Divergence is for Trematines. We could make use of that if we wanted to. Versus Lithograph, which is a party heal over time for staring enemies. Let's go for Nixie Divergence, because we can do funny things with Mersault if we ever so feel it.
이 불꽃이
Anyway, skim ahead for this battle. Wasn't exactly a long fight, was it? So yeah, here's the thing. We obviously want to go to the vendor. But the thing is, if we spend too much at the vendor, then we're going to be unable to upgrade things. I kind of want to just pick up the Helterfly's Dream and get out while the going's good. But also Bell of Truth would be funny if this was a Tremor team, because Bell of Truth plus Nixie Divergence gives the Tremor Fusion gift. Okay. Sell the Mixie Divergence, even though we just picked it up for shenanigans. Buy Voracious Hammer, it might give us enough to buy something special on the next floor, because that's what it does. After winning a combat encounter, gain 3 cost for each enemy defeated. We're saving the rest for the Helterfly, because that's hilarious on a burn team like this one. See, the thing is, I like picking up Helterfly's Dream anyway, just so I can avoid its random encounter in Mirror Dungeons. But on a burn team, look at this. When applying Burn or Unique Burn to an enemy with Burn, randomly inflict 3 potency between all enemies. When activating Wrath Absolute Resonance, inflict 5 burn potency between all enemies at the start. That upgrades to 4 potency and 6 potency. Upgrade it again. 5 burn between all enemies. When activating Wrath Resonance, randomly inflict 8 burns, so we don't have to get to Absolute Resonance, we just need 2 people to use Wrath skills. And this is a burn team, it's going to happen. We can also upgrade the Talisman bundle. This increases the Rupture potency, but by getting it to tier 2, when an ally deals any HP damage, inflict 3 potency. If this is a slash skill, inflict +1 rupture count on top of it. This is good stuff. And it's even more hilarious in an actual rupture team. We can't afford any more upgrades, and this is the last time we see an upgrade station, so make sure that you're prepared when you get to here. Don't overspend at the vendor. But now, well, we make our way to the boss.
몸이 따라줄진 모르겠지만
This is a focused encounter, so it does have a chance of giving us an ego gift drop. 6 basic abnormality enemies, 6 sinners. Now here's the thing that we really want to do. 4th match flame with Helterfly's Dream. On hit, inflict 4 burn. On heads hit, inflict 6 burn. You might be wondering, okay, how come we're not using Hong Lu? He's Liu, surely he'd be better off. One ally with the most SP inflicts +1 burn count with the effects of their attack skills and coins. This should go to first place, but the thing is, first place is N. Sinclair. So he never has full SP, meaning it goes to second place, Yi Sang. 5 attack weight, 2 chances, 1 guaranteed burn, 1 head split burn. This is going to absolutely cook the enemy.
불길 속으로 일발장전.
Oh man, it wasn't heads.
태우고 싶은 것을 태울 뿐이요.
Look at all those fire numbers going up.
생각보다 잘 타는 걸.
그 오물을 빼어내주지. 다 죽어라.
Now they're exploding into bloody giblets because there's just too much burn on them. Anyway, I'll catch you at the end when I've finished off this. So the thing that people don't like about Liu is that it's a lot of 2-star IDs that just don't roll very well, and it's hard for them to maintain burn. Mirror dungeons help them out a lot. Sure, let's get a cigarette holder. Anyhow, we have our floor 3 boss.
이 불꽃이
Let's see what's waiting for us to get set on fire and cooked to a crisp. Oh boy, this is not something I wanted to see on a Leo team because we're all pretty weak to PS and this guy has some pretty good PS. It's the crab boss from the SEA event. Anyway, passives. After this unit defeats an ally, heal by 5% of max HP. If this unit has healed 15% in a turn, restore its shell at 70% HP. It attacks its ally with the least HP. When attacking allies, it heals by damage dealt, and if it defeats, heals by double the damage dealt. When the head is broken, it has -2 skill power. When the shell is broken, -2 skill power. It has a lot of indiscriminate nonsense to throw about. We generally don't want it to win these clashes. You jerk! Okay, what can we do to reduce that incoming damage? Sure. Punch it. Ooh, I need to do something about this. I cannot let... The thing is that if a target dies that was the target of an AoE, then the AoE still goes off. But that means if we kill someone he's trying to hit with an AoE, then he's also going to hit the party unchallenged. Do not let that happen. Anyhow, we can't stop both of these. We can only stop one.
탐구는 끝났어.
Although I get the feeling that I just messed up and someone is also taking a cheap shot at Utus.
하고 싶은 것을 태울 뿐이요.
Man, you are having the worst luck with your heads flips. That's 3 4th match flames and no results.
자, 여기.
At some point the gnomes are gonna be part of this, you just know it.
정지. 벗어날 수 없다.
당신을 인도해주진 못해도
Art of Blossom Moth, we all remember that from Refraction Railway 3, right? And yep, he's angry. But also he staggered the shell, so he's not getting off nearly as many attacks as he'd have liked. This one is a problem. He's throwing out a 5-weight AoE, so naturally we don't want him to do that. The problem is that he is also preparing a counter, so whoever hits him is going to get hit back. You're the one person that resists the attack type. It would be You're weak to lust, but resistant to PS, so it's going to break even. You better not lose that clash! We need you to get a kill to get your SP back up. You hit him for the extra burn. You get the kill there. And I guess it's time for Grigor to intercept this attack. You are weak to gloom damage, but we don't have much envy to spare. We have plenty of lust and plenty of gloom, so we can throw out this. It's guaranteed to win, thank goodness. Most people don't use Suddenly One Day. I use it in this team because it's a lot easier to pick up lust resources than gluttony resources. Like, we need our gluttony for 4th match flame. Also, I think this counts as a burn attack because one of the effects can be burned. It was not this time though, this time it was Rupture. Hang on, 40. 49. You really should be getting SP for all this. Gloom and Wrath is something we can work with. On the downside, there's a small chance of that coin flip not going your way.
순식간에 끝내죠.
Oh wait, I forgot about the special effect of his 9-2 attack. He's actually losing his SP quite quickly. Look at that, 99 burn! 99 freaking burn! Yeah, that's the floor 3 boss. It can be a little bit a little bit of a hassle, but not too bad. Okay. I don't particularly want to give them speed boost, but standard duty battery is cool. Special contract is a super rare, powerful ego gift, but I'm not too sure I like the idea of giving out extra power to final attacks. Rusted cutting knife. That's kind of cool, but it's not necessarily something we need for this run. So Sun Shower. Enemies gain damage up if they deal damage at least once in the last turn. And the thing is, Sun Shower is really good. If we activate Sloth Absolute Resonance or use an AoE skill, then we get 2 skill power. That cannot be underestimated. Anyhow, final lap. Yep. It's just going to be a long slog, so don't expect me to stick around talking about this. Oh, I don't recognize this. What do you think? The shard suspended in air asks. Those things revolving along the track. They're bound by an unseen force, aren't they? Oh, I accidentally skipped what I was reading. I'm not binding them here because I want to. They're stuck to me, you see? What do you think? Okay. Cheat sheet open. What is this thing? Okay, so if I pick this one, I get the ego gift. The problem is, I'd be relying on Ishmael to get a 16 because these are some very steep checks. This one is easier. This is Gluttony Wrath. This one is harder. This is Gluttony Envy. I'm going to go for this because I think Ishmael can pull it off. But she has to roll perfectly. Incidentally, if you tried to do this with Sinclair's Wrath, he has to roll a perfect 30, so yeah, let's try. Right, I want to be lighter. But look at this! I'm still expanding because of these things that have bound themselves to me. So will you alleviate my weight a little? Ego gift, disc fragment earned. Gain +1 ego resource of a random affinity for each ego used last turn. If this was Gluttony ego, gain 3 instead. Oh, or rather, for each Gluttony ego, we gain 3 resources. Handy when you get to the end of a hard dungeon run and you start having to spam ego to keep up. Anyway, back to skimming till we get to our next run, our next mirror event. I really need to find something better to put on the loading screens, don't I? As you can see, some of these guys roll very high though. Oh, and a glitch that I found is that Soothe the Dead actually messes up Sinclair a bit because the bonus coin power also means that he gets -13 instead of -12. I hope they fix that sometime soon.
완벽한 한 발을 위해 태우고 싶은 것을 태울 뿐이요.
Oh, actually, I shouldn't skim yet because you have to see that hilarious amount of burn that he stuck down with the 4th match flame. I mean, did you see that huge stack of numbers? So, possible gifts. We don't have charge, we don't care about risk guards. Voodoo Doll is always nice. Deal 3 envy damage to all enemies and power down if they're at low health. Okay, what's waiting for us? Oh, this guy can absolutely screw you over or win your run for you. A pain moan echoes across the heat. It's hard to tell if it comes from a beast or a human. A sizzle spreads into the air along with the smell of burning flesh. Please, I need water. Won't someone give me water to drink? It doesn't matter what we pick, it's going to screw us over. If we pick Give Water, then it deals damage to anyone without Sloth. If we pick Don't Give Water, it deals SP damage to anyone without Sloth. So... it's a good thing that it's going to give out an interesting ego gift. You pour some water into the mouth only for it to immediately burst into steam. The scorching body won't allow a single drop in. Whether from pain inflicted by scolds or the frustration of unquenched thirst, the bull is thrown into a rampage, ramming into walls. We were not spared from its wrathful charge. Identities without sloth affinity attack skills take 20 damage. But we get the rusty commemorative coin regardless. If the first single coin attack skill an ally uses during combat phase doesn't defeat enemies, use it again. 20 is a lot. Anyway, unknown screams, another risky encounter.
줄지 모르겠지만 가라면
We'll be
가야지.
kind of low on health because 20 HP is a lot. Well, I guess... oh right, I forgot, I have Homeward. It's literally going to undo the 20 damage with the 12% heal. My bad. Two coin. 3 coin. Let's save the surprise for later.
순식간에 끝내죠.
생각보다 잘 타는 걸.
그 오늘을 떼어내주지. 정말 안심이다. 고통 보냈고.
Okay, 4-leaf clover, green spirit. We get more use out of the poise. So, we have one final choice. We can choose to keep going this way to get our hands on 2 ego gifts, or we can see what's in the shop. I think we can get at least 3 ego gifts from the shop. Spencer's hum fills the air, we know what it wants. I'm glad I came to the shop. Pinpoint Logic Circuit. When hitting an enemy with an Envy or Burn potency skill, inflict an additional burn potency by half the skill's total coins rounded up. Great for a burn team. Eclipse of Scarlet Moths we've also seen before. That'll be nice to have. When dealing damage with attack skill, gain damage, etc, etc. We could upgrade Gregor. Let's just do a refresh and see what we get. Oh, I'm glad I refreshed. Fiery Down, when hitting an enemy with Lust Affinity skill or something that inflicts burn or unique burn, inflict 3 burn potency. If the enemy has 20 burn potency at the start of a turn, double their burn. So basically everything's going to be on fire. Let's go for a heal because there's nothing else we can afford really. Yeah, heal. A refresh means we wouldn't be able to afford a skill upgrade. We can't do anything with Hong Lu since he's not taking part. This just makes everything look nicer. Anyway, I'll see you at the final boss.
이 불꽃이 필요하시다면
Okay, inordinately warped refraction. You meet the wall once again. It seems as though it might tip over and crush your sinners at any second. You try running left and right to circumvent it, but the wall is endless. Your only 2 choices are to turn around and walk away, or break this wall to move forward. Facing the fear is how you secure your safety. This is a Gloom Blunt node, so I can't quite remember what that involves. I think it might be the Shock Centipede.
제가 앞에 서죠.
No, it's the Blazing Ball. We've seen this guy in Luxcavations. Now let's see how well he likes being set on fire. Mind you, his die rolls are significantly higher. Yi Sang. We need someone else to take over his attack there. Yeah, basically his attacks are so high we kind of have to go all in with our extra skin, with our ego for this final round. But the fun thing is,
탐구는 끝났어.
because Mersault's going last, there's going to be a lot of burn on this single target by the time it gets around to his turn.
미움에 덧없는 분노를 담아 이 선물을 퍼부어주도록 하지. 미움에 덧없는 분노를 담아 이 선물을 퍼부어주도록 하지.
And the way that his capote works is that it actually inflicts a it inflicts tremor count. It inflicts tremor by how much burn is on the target, and then deals a stagger, and then deals a tremor burst. So there is a good chance of this guy getting staggered if enough burn is stuck on down on him.
당신을 인도해주진 못해도 따뜻하게 안아줄 수는 있어요.
내 팔은 뼈에 있었어.
Ooh, this is gonna sting.
벗어날 수 없다.
$82 stagger. Anyway, I think I actually want a Sun Shower on this turn because, aside from good clashing potential, we might be starting to bleed our SP a little bit. Oh yeah, because we used Holiday, we didn't get any Dark Flame on him.
탐구는 끝났어.
Also, he is at 99 burn, so there's absolutely nothing more we can do for burn. This is why Hong Lu doesn't really measure out in the Mirror Dungeon burn teams, because the ifs are so plentiful, sticking up the count isn't that difficult. Unless you pick up that very different tier 4 burn gift.
이 스며들 듯하는 비. 우산이 세
Because that one actually depletes count and then deals extra damage based on how much count it costs, but it also means that you're kind of teetering on the edge of losing all your count and potency. I forgot we had Rusty Commemorative Coin. Sun Shower is not a safe thing to use when you have Rusty Commemorative Coin.
내 팔은 변해 있었어.
정지. 벗어날 수 없다.
It's actually kind of hilarious that the Burn team's final boss is a boss that also uses Burn.
떼어내주지. 일발장전.
2 Unresolved Sorrow. We just need 1 more to push him into the next phase, but we might just end up staggering him this turn anyway. Handy thing about AEDD, it's very hard for them to even meet the floor.
제대로 가보자고.
나의 손으로 잘라낼 수 있다면
It's a shame he super resists anything that isn't blunt.
나의 손으로 잘라낼 수 있다면
이 구석구가 나의 폭력을 저지하기엔 턱없이 모자르지.
Yi Sang's SP is absolutely tanking. We cannot afford to have him do anything else. Which is why I lined up Blind Obsession, because that's going to give us the SP he desperately needs.
총원, 조명이 전멸하는 저곳으로 파도가 모든 것.
Now here's the question, because we staggered him, does that mean that the head will spawn or not? Ooh, the head spawned. I kind of want to do this. There is a chance of it losing, but if it doesn't, then she's going to get to use this attack twice. And that means double the attack boosts, double the lust fragility, a lot of nice things. No. As you can see, our envy supplies have run very low. We might lose this, but I feel confident.
순식간에 끝내줘.
모든 업은 다시 돌아와. 네 머리 위에 내려질 것이다. 모든 업은 다시 돌아와. 네 머리 위에 내려질 것이다.
정지. 벗어날 수 없다.
당신을 인도해주진 못해도 따뜻하게 안아줄 수는 있어요.
여기에는 이 약한 부분도 쓰여있지. 자, 여기!
And he explodes into giblets because he did not have enough HP to survive the burn.
당연한 결과죠. 저는 선택받았으니까. 그렇겠죠?
So we can check out our victorious statistics if we want. Not a lot of damage happened around, although I'm not sure I believe this one here. I'm pretty sure Force got shot in the face at some point. Sinclair scored the highest damage despite the fact that he had a bit of trouble with his Tails coins. And now we have our progress. We made it to the top, so we get full bonuses. We can check out the previous page if we want to see every gift that we ever got. And here's how much Starlight we get. Here's how many pass rewards we get. It costs 5 modules to pay for the rewards, but if you don't, then you don't get anything, and I've just wasted an hour and a half of video footage, so yeah, claim the rewards. Anyhow, next time we're going to take a new team into the Mirror Dungeon because
어두운 게 싫으시다면
as much
밝혀드릴 수 있습니다.
as much fun as bringing a burn team to all this could be,
불꽃입니다.
it's certainly not the only thing that we can bring. Until next time, guys, take care. We'll see you all around.